Welcome to another episode of Creators Outlet. Welcoming our special guest tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the funny voices. It's Keith Gleason.
Hello.
What's going
Thank
on,
you for
buddy?
having me.
Well, it was very nice meeting you the other week at Troy City Comic Con.
Yeah, that was a nice little show. I love that it was. That's one thing I love about certain cons, especially Joe Souza, who put that show on. He always tries to find, the admission was free, but it had like a suggested donation, which I thought was really cool for
Yeah.
for something like that. And yeah, it was a nice little crb, which
My
I really
girlfriend and I
appreciate.
suggestively donated.
Nice.
I didn't want to get roughed up. I didn't know where I was going.
The unwritten rule that you got to put some money in,
Yeah, I'm fine. This is perfect. This is like an old school
Yes,
comic convention.
I
You
love
know,
those. Those are my favorite.
you have some local creators
Yep.
and a bunch of vendors and then a bunch of cosplayers just standing around in your way, snapping
Yeah.
pictures of each other. And like,
Right.
there's a big open spot when you came in. It was like sectioned off for like, I guess, people that wanted to dance or whatever. And that's when I ran into an old friend of mine, Tim from Sour Grapes.
Oh yeah, I love Tim.
Uh,
I've seen him at almost every show this year, which is great.
he goes to he will go to a library opening.
Yep. Yeah. He's good though. He's always one of those fixtures you love seeing at a show.
Yeah, he's mellow, nicest guy.
Yep. I
Uh,
agree.
his wife paid me to say that. And he just started doing doodles of the old Hanna Barbera shows that he loved as a kid
Oh, that's great.
as sketches and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I gotta save up I gotta save up my pennies because I already budgeted my. I said I could spend like $35 at the show,
Mhm.
not too much because I don't have much anymore. Um, and girlfriend said, I don't know if I want to buy you anything. I'm like, let's get rid of some of my stuff before we buy new stuff.
There you go. Gonna make that compromise.
So I, I saw him. Then I saw you. A couple other creators I know, of course. Joe St. Pierre was
Yep.
there,
Love
and
Joe.
then I
Jim
ran
Lawson.
into my friend Mike down in the corner. Um,
Oh yeah, Mike Doherty.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, I love Mike too.
And I snagged a couple of prints off of him. He had a really cool Heath Ledger Joker
Oh
montage that he
yes.
did.
Yep. Yep. I know which one you're
I
talking
have to
about.
I have to I have to keep up my appearances. Being the Joker fan on Twitter since like 2005,
Oh nice.
and
Yes.
not using Twitter until 2 years ago. So um, I avoided a lot of.
uh, if I didn't have to use it for to promote my comic, I would be off of there myself. It's just a bad place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see too much. Anything I see in my feed are people that I've interacted with, and it's all comic book stuff.
Yeah, I try to same. I try to make my feed so it's stuff that I want to see and try to channel out the negativity as much as I can.
Yeah.
Still kind of slips in sometimes, but that's Twitter for you.
So let's start in. You tell us a little bit about your where your career in comics started and why you're where you are today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I knew when I was young, really young, that I wanted to be actually a cartoonist like Tim Jones and do like comic strips and things like that. I think comic books didn't become a thing with me until probably about junior high is when I first read my first one. And then I started. I didn't professionally make one until about 2005. I did go to 1 year at the Joe Kubert School down in New Jersey, so I was learning all about comics, and how to make them, how to letter, how to do everything properly, you know. But my art is very, very cartoony, kind of like Tim Jones a lot with its. And I knew, like, when I wanted to create the comic that I probably would not draw it, just because I have a hard time drawing like superhero kind of physiques and, like, you know, cityscapes and things like that. So I kind of fell more into a writing role with comics, and then also I tend to letter all my books as well. So like I guess I do the lettering and writing, and then, you know, the conceiving the concepts and do the thumbnails, things like that, and then the artwork I kind of push out to some other people. But I think, yeah, the first comic I made was about 2005, and it was called it was a mini series, and it was called Hero Envy, and it was based off a webisode series that me and my friends were like writing and acting in. It was kind of like a geek sitcom, if you will, you know. And so we made about 30 episodes, and it kind of fell apart because of egos and everything. And then, but I didn't want to like stop writing the characters. So I was like, let me just make a comic book and I'll continue it that way. And that's what I kind of did. I took all those characters and put them in a comic book. And so, yeah, I made a couple different books over the years. And then about 2014 or 15, around there, is when I kind of came up with the concept of Mighty Mascots, and I started to self-publish that on my own. And then I eventually found Alterna, and I submitted to them. After submitting to a bunch of other, I tried to submit to Image, I tried to submit to Dark Horse, tried to, you know, all these other small press companies. And then Alterna wasn't even on my radar, but then the news had come out that they started doing newsprint. You know, like, it was a big deal. Like, I think it was like 2015 that Alterna started doing that. And I was like, oh, that is awesome. Like, because I grew up with newsprint. I'm sure you have as well. When I saw that they were doing that, I was like, oh my God, it's so genius, you know? So I was like, maybe they'll be interested in this book. So I submitted it to them. And I got rejected the first time, you know, but the notes I got was, I like this concept, but you got to fix, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, gave me a bunch of bullet points of things that kind of he didn't like about the book. And so I went back. It was all good feedback, and he was 100% correct, which was, you know, good. So I went back to the drawing board and redid the entire first issue of Mighty Mascots. And the second time I submitted, it was accepted. So then I got in. This was about probably about 2016, 2017. And that was the rest was history. So I did the first 3 issues as a mini series with Alterna. And then I had started issues 4, 5, and 6 as the second mini series. Because when Alterna was with Diamond, they did not release any monthly books. They just did mini series, because it was like, I guess they had to game the system a little bit with Diamond, because you always get you get a boost with a new #1 issue. And then you know the second and third start to kind of fall off after the first one, you know. Yeah. So they kind of had to game it by doing mini series rather than doing ongoing. But I think right before right around the beginning of the pandemic, Alterna just pulled out of Diamond, because they were making more money selling direct to readers rather than dealing with Diamond and all their weird fees and all this stuff that they were imposing on, you know, on the publisher. So Alterna pulled out, and then at that point he was like, well, we don't have to do miniseries anymore. We can just keep everything ongoing. So I was like, that's great. So I turned the second miniseries into issues 4, 5, and 6. And then now I'm working on 7, 8, and 9. I try to do like 3 issues a year if I can, just try to, because I still work a day job.
Ooh,
Yeah, I know.
Deja.
It's hard to make money in comics. I'm
Oh
doing
yeah.
okay. I'm doing like, if I didn't have expenses, I probably could live off of my comic money, but of course I have expenses, so I do have to keep a day job, unfortunately. But comics are love for me, so I love to make them. I love to read them, so it's a labor of love, more than it is for the money, so I don't know, it's just one of those things.
And of course, you've been merchandising Mighty Mascots.
Oh yeah, yep. I got stickers, I got pins, I got Mighty Mascots branded soda. I got what else? I got cereal boxes. I'm working right now. The new campaign has like pirate eye patches and bumper stickers, all this stuff. So and I'm also working on like little 2-inch like figurines, like 3D printed, and they're gonna look like those old. Remember the muscle figures from the '80s? They're
Oh
gonna look kind
yeah.
of like that with the pink hard plastic. So I can't wait to get those going finally. So it would just be something cool to have at the table. And go
Yeah,
to
I
shows.
remember the big stiff ones in like the 60s, 70s. It would all be like one color,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
like
Those
a
are.
figure. And they'd stand about yay high, and it would be like various Marvel figures. And they did them for DC Comics back in the day. They just made comics and not, you know, they didn't have any agenda to push. They were just making comics for people to read.
Yeah,
And
they were entertaining. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
they were entertaining people in such ways to kids of all ages,
Hmm.
including us. And I still have some of them. And
Uh,
it's funny. A few years back, like out of the blue, these were given to me by my good friend John,
okay.
and they were moved out of their old house, and he goes, "Hey, get rid of some of this stuff. I know you would love all this stuff." So he gave it to me, and right around the time that Marvel turned General Ross into the Red Hulk, I look in the box. There's a red green Hulk,
Oh, really?
like little plastic statues. Like, oh, those.
That's awesome.
My friend looked at me and goes, "They're still not ready." I go, "I don't care. I like them."
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just, I hear you about the whole agenda thing. It's really disheartening, that every comic has to be like that, that's coming from Marvel and DC. It's just annoying, and I hate that when they do that in movies. We used to call
Mhm.
it being pretentious. And
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh,
you,
they are very pretentious
oh
in
my
Hollywood.
god. And
They
then
haven't made an actual new movie in 20 years.
yeah, you're right. Everything's a remake, a reboot, or a superhero film.
Mhm.
And like, it's just, yeah, it's annoying. It really is. You really
It's
got to
like
dig
it
for
was
your
great. It was
entertainment
great for the
nowadays.
first few years, and it's like, okay, I got for the superhero. Can you just write an actual script now?
Right? Yeah,
No.
it's crazy. Like, but yeah, no, and you know what? They're failing, and that's where Alterna and other small press companies like us are picking up the slack and trying to return back to the stuff that we loved growing up. Like, you've read a couple issues of Mighty Mascots. There's not a hint of like anything political in there. It's just like, it's all just entertainment. Like, just high stakes adventures. Superhero adventures. That's all
Yeah,
I
the,
want to
the
do.
only thinking you have to do is try to figure out every time a new mascot or evil villain comes in where
Yeah,
you
like, what
know
did I
them
base
from.
it off of? Yeah, definitely. That's part
And
of the
I'm like,
fun, like with me creating them as well. Like, I love, like with everything, the villains, the side characters, everything. I start with a real mascot, and then I kind of build my own based off of that, but I also try very conscientious about creating a character that can stand on its own, but also
Mhm.
pay homage to the original thing it's based off of, so I try to do that with everything I create, just so
I've
it's
read
like
the
that
first three
fun.
issues. Uh, and all of my issues were signed by the way. Uh,
Nice.
and you threw in like the first three trading cards and everything. I'm like, yes.
Do you have a favorite character out of the team?
Um, I could have told you right before Lady of the Pool showed up, and then I was like, hey.
Yeah, yeah. That's great.
Um, I just had a lot of fun figuring out who they were. And I'm telling my girlfriend, she has no idea. She wasn't allowed to watch the Saturday morning cartoons
Oh,
where like all
really?
these ads would be going and everything. They
That
were like
stinks.
they were at church every Saturday morning and not absorbing mass amounts of sugar through a 10-gallon bowl or something.
That is exactly what I want people to get out of the comic. Is I want them to feel as they're reading it that they're back in like 1983 watching like a 6 hour block of cartoons with a big bowl of cereal. That's the feeling I want people to walk away with after they're done reading it. And it's just like, because I love that stuff. I still do. I just bought all of the monster cereals recently. I still eat sugary cereals. When I see something new in the supermarket, I grab it. I'm still a little kid like that. I still like watching cartoons. So grown man, but inside I'm a like 10-year-old still. So
Oh,
love it.
so you're on your second 30 days, 19 days left.
Yep. Yep.
You've got 130 backers right now, and you're sitting at $6,569.
Yep. We're very close to, like, once we hit 7,000, the pirate eye patch gets unlocked for everybody with a physical perk, which is awesome. So I've been pushing that. So it's like yeah, exactly. It's a real pirate eye patch, but it has the Honey Flakes logo on it, and it comes in a nice package. If you don't want to wear it, you can just leave it in the package and save it with your other collectible stuff, which is cool. Yeah, so it's good. I think we'll hit that before the end of the campaign, which will be nice.
Oh,
Plus, I'll probably go in demand with this campaign at the end. Like, why not? Because I'm still making the issues. Right now, we just finished issue 7. I'm lettering that book right now. Issue 8 started this week. I've already seen some pencils from the first 4 pages. So I put a due date for next summer, but I'm hoping we can finish all 3 books and probably have them to everybody before that deadline. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see how that goes, with paper shortages and all that fun stuff out there,
yeah.
But that's the
Let's
goal.
go, Brandon.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So first off, a tin lunchbox.
Yes, yeah, I just added that for the second 30. It's limited. We're only going to be able to get like 25 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like if we sell maybe 10 or 15 in the campaign, the rest I can just bring to shows and sell that way, And it'll be really fun to have all that stuff, Just another thing to put on the table, The fun item.
Yeah.
I love that's the one thing about. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Your featured perk is Mascots Breakfast Club member.
Yes, that's the one I recommend to everybody because you get the 3 issues, you get the 3 variant covers. The variants are only going to be printed, to how many are ordered. So I mean, the print run could be as low as like 200 on those. So those might be a hot commodity. You also get 3 mini prints of the artwork for issues 1, 2, and 3, the covers without the logos or anything on it. You get a pin of the new character Grunt Calhoun. You get a bumper sticker of the new character Grunt Calhoun, and then you also get a embroidered patch that's with the artwork by Joe St. Pierre. So and all that for 50, and then you also get anything that gets unlocked between now and the end of the campaign.
Stretch goals, yeah.
Yeah, all
I
that
handle
stuff.
the patch, and I'm like, oh, Shade Red's been here.
What was that?
Shay the Red's been here. Every time I hear somebody go, oh, and we got this patch, I go, talk to Shay.
Yeah, yeah. Right? Yeah, oh, yeah.
She gets very cross when you do something and there's no patch involved.
This is my first one, so I'm curious to see how it'll actually go, you know? I think it'll be fun to have one.
Yeah, I actually started collecting them. So I don't
Do you prefer the ones with the Velcro on the back, or do you like just the plain, like just the plain back?
The regular ones are fine. I mean, if I wanted to like Velcro a patch onto something for like, like a show I'm going to where certain people were going to be there, I'm more than capable of actually buying Velcro and pulling the sticky tabs off and putting it on myself.
Gotcha. Because I'm seeing like a trend with these patches that people have been using them on a hat. Like they'll swap out the different patches. Like they won't use just the same one all the time. So I'll have to probably poll everybody and see what they think. Like,
yeah, I saw a woman that made a video talking about that where she bought a bunch of patches.
Yeah.
And she couldn't afford to buy a color hat to match every outfit. So she bought like 5 plain trucker hats.
Okay.
In different colors. And then she put like a Velcro piece on it. And then she can swap out like different patches for like a different look or something. I'm like,
yeah, it seems like a good idea, and I noticed a few different alternate creators doing that as well. So I'll have to poll people and see what they think. You know, that's another good thing for Twitter. You can put a poll out and see, what people are liking.
oh yeah.
And if people don't care, people may not even care which one has which.
It's like just patch.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, the campaign's doing well. I'm really happy with the results of it, and I think we could definitely hit that 7K stretch goal before the end, and then hopefully we'll hit the 10K one as well, which is I think a fridge magnet, which will be fun to do.
Oh, I love fridge magnets.
Yeah,
you can't hang up anything on my fridge for all my fridge magnets.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out what I want to do for the fridge magnet. I do like the Joe St. Pierre artwork, but I don't know. I may end up just doing something completely different. I don't know. Yeah, my wife is oh. Uh-oh. Hello? Oh, are you still there?
Oh, we're back. Okay,
oh, good. I was like trying to stall for time, What I was going to say, my wife is a very talented artist, and you saw this puppet at the show at Troy.
Yeah.
She volunteered to actually make another one, so we're seeing if anybody's very interested in that, to have their very own puppet. So we'll see. I put it up there, but so far no one's really taken a bite at that yet. It is a little high and pricey though too, so. But she does a good job. It's very like a Muppet Central one,
Yeah. I was excited to hear a little bit of his backstory in the earlier issues, how he defended the honeycomb hideout.
Oh yeah. There's more with him in issues 4, 5, and 6. He kind of goes through a little bit of a PTSD in issues 4, 5, and 6. He has a repressed memory about an old breakfast commercial, and that sends him down a bad hole, and he has to kind of recover from it over the course of the 3 issues, I liked it though. The arc kind of came together really nice for his storyline. So I know my publisher was like, just please don't have the mascots have to go to psychotherapy, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. But we like to do like a little bit of character development to like bond readers to the characters more, and the characters need to kind of grow a little bit, so I definitely like to write some crises in there for them.
Maybe in the future, Honey Flakes will have to sit down and have a long chat with Mr. Drum Bond.
Yes. Did you like that little reference to the different strokes?
I was like, until I saw like the inside of the second cover, I was like struggling to figure out who it was, and then when I saw that and I read that, I go, it snapped and clicked right there. So I was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
All right. Child star with those serial mascots. I get it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And well, the thing was when I was coming up with the human character for them, because I envisioned that the group to be sort of like the dynamic of like Doom Patrol or even something like X-Men, where it's like you got this group of heroes, and then you always had the mentor guy, like the Charles Xavier or the Dr. Niles Calder type on the side, and I wanted the human character to be like a former child star grown up and becoming a scientist, and the greatest child star I could think of was Gary Coleman. Like, I don't think there was anyone better than him or bigger than him, back in like the 80s. And he had his own cartoon, for God's sakes, so I was like, yeah, we got to do that. So I combined his name with Gary Coleman and like Emmanuel Lewis, so I kind of did like the whole mashup thing, but I like writing that character a lot. What's that?
You Webster to Coleman.
I did. Yes, I did. And I really like writing his character though. Like I think the two characters I really like to write is him and Mondo. I love their bickering. Like they're like an old married couple, I just love writing like Mondo is the type of intellectual that has zero common sense, but he's smart as a whip, and then Manny kind of fills in the voids where he needs it, So I don't know, just a good dynamic there,
Amy's Birdhouse says it's helpful to have a creative voice.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's my secret weapon on a lot of stuff. And so what we're seeing right there is unlocked for everybody. That is a collectible cereal box top. Like, you remember back in the day when you had to
mail them in
your box tops with proof of purchase and and your $5 for shipping, and then they would send you something nice. I don't know if I'm gonna make more of those, or I may just do have people mail it in later for something else. I don't know, but I thought that would be a fun little thing to give people.
Have them trade it in for your the Martian spoon.
There you go. Yeah, right. That'd be something to figure out for a future merchandise. Like maybe somebody can 3D print me a one of those character spoons they used to give away in the cereal. That'd be kind of fun, But yeah, this is a fun series to work on. I really it really checks off a lot of boxes for me creatively, and it's fulfilling. Like I could see myself working on this, off and on for hundreds of issues. Like, I just think there's a lot of potential here to create a huge universe of different villains and characters, and and that's what I love doing. Creating the next big bad villain.
Stop scrolling through old commercial reels trying to figure out who you haven't homaged yet.
Yeah, right. Well, I bought a couple books from Barnes and Noble a couple of years ago that were just talk about brand mascots. So whenever I need inspiration, I page through those things, and there's just a ton of them. I think they have probably almost every living mascot in there, every mascot that's still around or was around, so it's a good one to look at.
Nice. And here we have the Australian bundle.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And people are taking advantage of it. I didn't do this is the first time I've done digital, and it was look, we got 9 people that claimed it, that wants all 9 issues. So I think that's a steal for digital,
They could be living, it's good for people in Australia, overseas, that don't want to have to pay, quadruple taxes because shipping is a nightmare right now.
Yep.
And, or it could just be somebody that lives in like a studio apartment, doesn't have room to put comic books anywhere.
Yeah. People, like, a lot of people are decluttering now, so, and they are reading digitally. I can't do digital. I tried. I'll do it if I absolutely have to do it. Like when we do an interview on our show or whatever, I'll read a digital if I have to. But I prefer the physical copy still to this day.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's just something about especially with newsprint. I love smelling the paper and, love holding the artwork. But whereas digital, you have to go panel by panel. I love looking at the entire thing, like it's just a different experience, I think.
Yeah, it's, it's just a little tough to get everybody to send you like free copies of their book. They're like, oh, I'm charging $25 for this.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I go, well, I don't have $25, but I want to review your book.
Right. Do they give you usually a free PDF or
sometimes? Sometimes. I get a lot because I go through. I used to write for Outright Geekery.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
And so I'm still in contact with a bunch of people. I, of course, know Pete and Frankie B. Washington and and a bunch of other people that I get stuff from a lot of like the small press, Image isn't small press anymore from Image on down. So like, Image, Scout, AWA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll send me stuff like monthly, and if they get like some PR, I'll just put it up on my podcast page on Facebook. And yes, I called it Facebook. Because it
another social media site I would get rid of in 2 seconds if I didn't have a comic to promote,
Yeah. Originally, I just went on. I went on there just to keep in touch with family members, and then I said, "Ooh, there's comic book people here."
Yeah, there's a lot of cool groups on there we can find. I go there a lot to find content, to like talk about and things like that. So there's a lot of great groups on there.
So the Mascot Bowl Call.
Yes. Little nod to the Avengers there.
Yeah. Captain Horatio Honey Flakes, which is your take on Captain Crunch.
Yep.
Boxer Bear Sugar Crisp.
Yeah, probably like he was like a combo, kind of like Sugar Bear mixed with like a Tony the Tiger kind of thing.
Mondo. We found out backstage that that's a Quisp.
Yeah.
Rooster McPunch is Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah, or Kool-Aid.
Kind of like
Man.
a Kool-Aid, like a mixture of both.
Yeah. Yep.
Sea Rat is like Toucan Sam.
Yep.
And Whack, Smack, and Boom is the sugar, the Rice Krispies guys.
Yeah. Yep. Just kind of in name only. They're more that I liked having them as like robots, and I love that they combine into a big robot named Mega Crunch, which is a lot of fun,
For 5 minutes.
Yes. Got to build in that weakness, They can't be all powerful,
So apparently Whack, Smack, and Boom are married because 5 minutes is all they got.
Yes. Right? it's
And then you have trades also available of the aforementioned Hero Envy and Swamp Tales.
yep. Yeah, Swamp Tales is my comic strip I used to draw, kind of like what Tim Jones does with Sour Grapes.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's my it's like about like a handful of swamp creatures and their adventures basically, and it's like the typical like Tim Jones kind of comic where it's like two or three panels of setup and then one gag at the end, stuff you'd see in the newspaper. But I had made a bunch of them. I had like over 100 strips back in the 90s when I was pursuing, what he's doing, which is trying to get syndicated and getting into newspapers. And and this never happened. So I was like, I had them sitting around. I was like, why don't I collect these? I put them into, I reformatted them and put them into comic books, and I did 3 issues, and then I collected them into a full graphic novel. For a while, it was probably one of my hottest selling books. Like the number one was, because mothers were all constantly looking for kids books, like stuff that kids can enjoy, and Swamp Tales kind of fit that bill, So every once in a while, I think, it looks like a few people have claimed them, so that's good,
Yeah. You've sold 9 sets, so
Yeah,
hey,
so that's great.
if you don't put it up, you can't sell it.
Yeah, exactly. And I always bring a couple to the shows too. So every once in a while, someone will buy Hero Envy or Swamp Tales, and I'm happy to sell it to them.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to hear, your cartoonist background and what you like about it. Kind of like, outside of Spider-Man and a couple of others in the strips. I just found out the other week that there used to be a Star Trek comic book strip. I mean, a cartoon strip in the paper.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. I go, so now I got to find whatever publisher can publish those.
Yeah, there's
in
probably
books.
a collected book somewhere at least.
Yeah.
That's cool. I never knew they did that.
My teenager likes reminding me just how old I am all the time. And
Are you a big Star Trek fan?
yeah,
Yeah.
because I grew up in the 70s.
Yeah.
I'm barely a 60s child. I was born in November of 69. So at the end of the month too. So
Nice. You must be like disgusted with like the Paramount Plus stuff, huh? I tried watching the first season of Picard, and I can't do it. It's just so bad.
I watched the first season of Picard in one sitting, as we do many things. Like I watched Cobra Kai through twice on the first day it was out.
Oh wow!
Like the newest season.
Oh wow! I started the first one of the new season. That's all I've seen so far.
And then I got in trouble because I was supposed to wait to watch it with my girlfriend when she got home from work.
Gotcha. So then you end up having to watch it again. That's all right. It's a good show.
I was ready to go. I was like, oh, yeah. Are you coming home or working late today?
That's awesome. It's tough to find good stuff now, though. Like, I mean, like, I feel like Star Trek has the same problem Star Wars has now. You got people making it that don't know the property they're working on,
Yeah. Well, it's that, and they don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to use, the fan base from the 70s through the 90s for it.
Mm-hmm.
And say, and, be like, we don't care what you think. We love Jar Jar.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, you're wrong. That's my opinion, and it's wrong.
Right. Well, I think Star Trek needs they need like at least like a John Favreau to come in and make at least one of the shows good. That way you can enjoy something. Like I think I love the Orville. They'd be smart to hire Seth MacFarlane to come in and do something over there.
The
know?
best meme in the last like 5 or 6 years was, wow, imagine this, fake Star Trek is better than real Star Trek.
Right? I mean, like me and my wife love the Orville, and like, but Seth MacFarlane gets it. Like it feels like next gen, you know,
Hmm.
old school next gen. It's great.
Yeah, I'm like I was checking out like the new series where they went back and they got, I like the actor that they had as Pike that they brought into Discovery.
Is that the guy from the Inhumans there?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I
He's
heard that
he's
one
a
was
good actor.
okay, but like it was like, is it just good because everything else sucks so bad that this one, because it's marginally good, everyone likes it, you know? Is it
Well,
that kind of thing?
I watched like the first 2 episodes, and then the second episode it was like that. Uh, because at some point in Roddenberry's futuristic vision, the entire planet comes together as one,
Okay.
and but you never know what it was, whether it was like, you know, the second ice age, um, the Borg shows up at Earth like 500 years in the past, or what have you. They decided that the writers were going to write it in and tell you that Earth all came together after a terrible event on January 6th.
Oh God.
And I was like, click,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Cancel my 7 day free viewership.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
all
not
I
watch
would have.
anything.
That's all I would have had to hear. I gave up on it after watching that first season of Picard. I even towards the end, I was on my phone more than I was paying attention to it.
Yeah.
It was just very boring and not,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
not Star Trek anymore. It's propaganda Trek.
Yeah, exactly. And I just felt like they had no idea who John Luc Picard was, you know, or
Mm.
anything. It felt like, you know, like somewhat, you know, yeah, like just all the Star Wars stuff. Like it just don't get anything, you know.
Yeah,
It
it's like
just
you could have read like any of the novels that had come out in like the last 30 years, and gotten a clue. The
I
only thing they've
believe it.
done right has been like the Mandalorian.
Right, and well, that's what I'm saying. Like you got Jon Favreau who understands
Hmm.
what the original Star Wars was, and he brought that like East meets West kind of philosophy to it, and I think
Yeah,
that's why it worked. And it's very faithful to what George Lucas did in that first Star Wars movie, and I think that's why it clicks with people.
we need we
But
need
he
we
can't.
need to
He's only
clone
one
him.
guy, you
Yeah,
know.
we need to clone him
Yeah,
so we can do
exactly.
all the Star Wars, all
Exactly.
the heroes, and then we can give another clone of Favreau to DC
Right,
because
right.
we want to see. I'm
You know, and
like,
it's like and Marvel's doing the same thing. They're just churning it out like a factory thing, and it's like they have to have the next show ready for that spot in their lineup. You know,
yeah, like
after
all their phases and stuff, and I'm like,
yeah, but it's like, why don't you guys focus on being a quality thing rather than like a quantity thing? You know.
yeah, because it's just terrible.
Yeah, people are asking, "Are you gonna watch Andor?" And it's like, you know, if I can't remember who that character was in Rogue One, why would I watch a series about him? You know, like, just like it was like, who the heck was this guy again? You know, like I don't even remember him. You know, and I was just like, it's just like, are you guys gonna give like a show to like like one of the Creature Cantina guys or something? Like it's like we're really scraping bottom with shows here. You know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just we'll have to see. Like I might
Yeah,
I might watch like the 3 episode premiere when it comes out, just
I'm
to
gonna wait to hear about it because I'm getting to that point now where I can just stop watching. I used to tune in for everything Marvel, and now it's like I've reached a point where I don't even have to see that stuff anymore. Same with Star Wars. I'm gonna be very picky and choosy on what I watch, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll probably check out Ahsoka when that comes out because I like that character. But and then some of the animated stuff I like, but and then Mandalorian that might be it for me.
I saw something where they're supposed to be doing an animated version of Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, I saw a preview for that. It looks interesting.
Yeah,
That I'll probably watch.
It'd be more interesting if they used the old Dark Horse comics to, you know, it's like
gold mine stuff. Yeah,
it's a gold mine of stuff that they don't pay attention to, but everybody in the collector's market is clamoring for, because some of those issues, like first appearance of like a Sith Lord that was in like a couple of the video games, is like a $500 book, and I'm like, oh, I don't think it's a $500 book. And I'm like, no, it is. And I go, do you want to buy it? He goes, yeah, I'll give you 20. I'm like, no. But I saw I had grabbed like the first 2 issues, and I've been clamoring, trying to figure out where I stuck them.
Is this the original Dark Horse stuff? The first few miniseries they put out? Yeah, those were great. Those were really good.
But when they released Clone Wars as a comic book, that first issue is like going for like over $1,000 right now.
No kidding, really?
Huh. Because it's the first comic book appearance of Ahsoka Tano.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
And all the other Mandalorians, you know, that were played by, you know, Katie Sackhoff and the wrestler girl there from Boston.
Oh yeah.
But
they're making an appearance in that as well.
Yep, they all made like an appearance. So it's like a huge cluster of like first appearances, you know, never there.
I could see that being worth that money then.
Yeah, and they did like a thicker book. It was like a quarterly. And
was this when it was with Marvel, or is this before Marvel?
Pre-Marvel.
Pre-Marvel, okay.
And one of the issues is the first appearance of the Dark Trooper.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's not worth anything.
No kidding. Wow. I figured that
like,
would be...
It's like a $10, $20 book.
Okay. So they kind of know it's something, but it's not like an in-demand book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just when I thought I was being slick, and I bought the photo cover of an issue of that with Boba Fett on it.
Right. Yeah.
It turns out the art cover with Boba Fett on it is the one that's worth money. The other one is like, you know, half of cover price.
Right.
It's like
probably
a $2
limited
book
too, and all that jazz.
Anyhow, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Right. Yeah, I could go off on tangents. Sorry about that.
I think we just did. That's okay.
Yeah, I like it. It was a good one.
So the lunchbox comes back into play here.
Yep. Yeah, I put it as its own tier on there. It's also available as an add-on. So if you want, like, say, the 3 new issues and you want to add that on, you can do that right at checkout. Same vice versa. If you want to get the lunchbox and then add an issue or 2 at checkout, you can do that. You can also add on the first 6 if you haven't read the first 6. So always building that readership, you know, like trying to catch the new reader that hasn't read the series at all.
I'm in the midst of reading the first 6.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you think of 4, 5, and 6 once you read it. I feel like that storyline came together really nicely, so be curious to see what you think of Honey Flake's PTSD in those issues.
Oh, I can put it up to my own PTSD, so that should be fun.
Oh, well, hopefully it doesn't trigger anything. You know, if it does, I apologize in advance.
So this is your new your take on McGruff.
Yes, yeah. It was funny. I tweeted out the image of my version, which is Grunt Calhoun, and the McGruff Crime Dog Twitter account favorited it, and then they also retweeted it and said cute. So I thought that was great that
Nice.
they actually saw that on Twitter. I never even tagged them or anything, you know. So it's kind of fun. This is also like a great image that I show off to people when they ask about the tone of the book. And I tell them, you know, that it's an all ages book, but it's all ages in the way that all ages was when we were growing up in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
You know, like Spider-Man and Batman, like characters could be smoking, characters could be dead in the book, you know, like, but I didn't do, you know, I'm very careful about how I portray things. Like I don't, with the dead duck on the cover there, I told the artist no blood, to do X's for eyes, that kind of thing. And then Grunt, like, I don't know. I grew up with characters like Nick Fury and Wolverine that always were smoking. And, you know, eventually I loved John Constantine as well. And it's like those characters, the smoking always kind of gives them a little, it adds to their character, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Commissioner Gordon for decades
exactly.
was smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just think it's funny that Duck Hunt is on the cover.
Yes. That I gotta credit Pete with, because Pete when I do covers with Alterna, I just send them the image, and then kind of Pete goes in and figures out where to put the logo, how to put the corner box there, and then he also adds his little blurbs, and I really liked the Duck Hunt blurb because I wasn't even thinking about that, you know. So that's where Pete's genius comes in a little bit, you know. That was fun.
We found Howard dead today, or is it Donald? We're not sure.
Right?
All ducks look alike.
Right? Yeah. This is supposed to be sort of a nod to like the Affleck duck, I guess. Or I was originally gonna have it as just a duck, like, you know, just very, you know, non-human looking, just a dead little duck. But then when Ian drew it, he drew it more like Howard the Duck. When I was fine with that, I thought it was okay, so we just went with it. But yeah, it's funny, very fun, you know. I think Ian and Anton, Anton does the colors, Ian does the pencils and inks. They're both in Indonesia, and I met them on Facebook and like one of those groups that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
and just very talented guys. I love their style. It's somewhere between manga and Western comics. I really think it fits my title really well, you know?
Yeah.
And when I saw their artwork, I was like, these are the guys, you know? Like, because the Mascots started off with actually Frankie B. Washington as the original artist. And he also designed all the characters in the, you know, the early days. He designed all the mascots, basically. But back to when I submitted it to Alterna, Frankie was the artist on the book still. But then when they rejected it and I had to redo the entire book, Frankie kind of didn't want to redraw everything. And I don't blame him for that. If you're an artist, you kind of don't want to redo everything. So we kind of parted ways, you know, nicely. I'm still friends with him and he still does some stuff for me. And then I brought in these two guys, and these guys have been with the title since the number one. Nice. Hopefully I can keep them on as long as I, you know, can afford them.
And then we have the Mighty Mascots variant covers.
Yeah, I got some really nice variant covers this go around. Some really talented people. Issue 7 was by Steve Mardo, who's a local guy. I think he's from Providence as well.
Nice.
Yeah, just a guy I've known for a couple of years. Really good, talented artist. Asked him if he was available for a cover. He was, so he did that great one of Boxer Bear. The painted one, my first painted cover, that one is another local guy, Ryan Santos. Is like, he has his own studio. He does like a lot of gallery stuff, but he also wants to try to break into comics. So I gave him all 6 issues and I said, hey, take a look, see what you think, see what you can come up with for a cover. That's the only instructions I really gave him. And he wrote me back and he said, I'm thinking Alex Ross, and I was like, dude, if you could do Alex Ross style, I would love that. And that's what he came up with, and I love his cover. I think it came out really good. And when I turned it into Pete, I said, Pete, don't screw this up with the logos. Make everything small. So that's what he did. He put the logo in the corner and, made the corner box really small, which is nice. I wanted the artwork to really stand out on that one.
Be like, can we make this one a virgin variant?
Yeah, exactly. Almost, yeah, exactly. I would love to do that. And then number 9 was by an artist I went to Kubert school with that I reconnected with again on Facebook. And he's a guy that doesn't really work in comics anymore. He does storyboards, and he does advertising. He works in the fields that actually make money. And I said, hey, would you be interested in doing a cover for me? And he turned out issue 9 cover and still got it. He's an amazing artist. He sat next to me in Kubert school. He's just a nice guy and very talented, so it was nice to get something from him, so yeah. Before I did the last campaign, I did a couple variant covers for each issue, and it was too much, so I just did one for each issue this time, just because I think people are kind of tired of variants, so I don't want to do overkill on variants either, I think people just want the books nowadays.
Yeah, just let me read something.
Exactly. Like I know I don't care about variant covers. Like when I go to a store, I'm like, just give me the book, I hate paying extra for that stuff. I just want the book, so. But I guess that's more of our sensibilities, I guess,
I'm broke. Just sell me the
exactly.
The bare,
give me
just
the
sell
book.
me just sell me the bare bones. I want to read something.
Exactly. And especially with prices nowadays, you just want the cheapest thing you can get, so.
Oh yeah. And you get some sketch card commissions up?
Yep. Both but one of like I'll do a sketch commission, or my wife will. If you choose that tier, you basically choose which one of us you want us to do something, and then go from there,
And there's only 20 left available.
Yep. And then we got, if you scroll down further, there's like a sketch cover that we'll do. It's a sketch cover on Mighty Mascots #1. So it's like
scrolling.
Yeah. I think it's somewhere. It's probably. Did we go by it? We might have gone by it.
I might have gone by it.
Yeah, well, it should have been right near the sketch.
Fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that great? Isn't that a great cover? I love Honey Flakes on that. He looks so cuddly. There's the sketch covers right there above the pin.
Oh, there they are.
Yep. So the top 2 are my wife's. She's an amazing artist, and then the 2 on the bottom are the ones I did that sold at a couple of Alterna auctions like months ago. But like I love doing like a cover here and there, but like I don't think I'm anywhere as good as my wife. I think she's an amazing artist. But I try. So.
I just get a kick out of it that Boxer Bear is fighting Log on one of your covers.
Isn't that great? I love the Log character from Alterna.
I'm like, what's that? He goes, it's Log. I go, oh, that's great.
Yeah. I love it. It's like a Conan book, but with like a sentient tree.
Log.
Yeah. It's great. Log. Yeah, I love it.
So where'd you get Log from? Well, my friend used one of those, urns where you can, your ashes will become a tree, and now I have a haunted forest.
Yes. It's great. And then, of course, the bull call on a T-shirt, which that was, I thought, great image for a cover, for a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's cool because you get all the characters and the big logo on there.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And then as you scroll down, there's like the ketchup bundle, or you can get everything that's ever come out, including the 100-page giant, which is just a reprint of issues 1, 2, and 3, just in one volume. Mm-hmm. But you get the cover for that, which is a different cover, So I threw that in. And then there's like the whole breakfast, which you get everything basically for $100. Everything that's out there, the T-shirt, all the extras, and you name it, you get it with that. And then there's like the final one is the puppet tier, and then also you can get drawn into the Mighty Mascots.
There's only one slot for that left.
Yeah, that one's a very popular one. Like
everybody wants to. I can't make a comic. I have no talent.
Yeah, everyone wants
I can fork up the cash to get put in.
I did that on my last campaign, and those sold out like instantly, all five spots. So if anyone is interested in that, it's probably going to happen in issue 9. It's going to be a big kaiju battle in issue 9, so I'll probably put some of the backers as part of the crowd, like running away or, trying to get away from the mayhem, basically, So that's probably where I'll stick everybody. But yeah, issue 8 and 9 are going to be a lot of fun. Those 2 issues I've been wanting to write since I envisioned this series, so it's finally going to be great to get those out there. It's also the glorious return of... What's that? Isn't that great? No. Yeah, I should have brought it down. It's upstairs. I should have brought it down to be on the show with me. But I was going to say... the issues 8 and 9 will also be the return of Mega Crunch, finally. The robots coming together again as one big unit,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like to use that sparingly just because it's like, it's like your ultimate weapon kind of thing.
I don't want every issue to be the end of a Voltron episode.
Right, exactly. And I don't want that either. I want the robots to be just as good on their own as they are as Mega Crunch, so... And there's a couple sample pages from issue 7 that are finished. Issue 7's more like a one and done kind of murder mystery, as we like traipse through the world of insurance mascots.
And Boxer Bear just coming up through the entire cereal bowl.
Yeah, isn't that great? I love that image. Steve Mardo's great artist. I'm angling to buy that original art piece from him too, because I'd love to have that in my collection. So, working on that right now to try to get that. Same thing with Ryan. Ryan's got the original of this. It's a little pricey, but I'm thinking about buying it at some point. Such a great cover.
Somebody hit up Brian and buy this cover for Heath for Christmas.
There you go. And Victor, I think Victor did his digitally, so there's no artwork to buy there, unfortunately. There's the one thing about digital art, you can't have an original, But brilliant piece. I mean, look at I love the design of it.
I love how grungy he's got the captain looking.
Yeah, I love it too. And just the way they flow, all the characters kind of flow together there. It just looks really cool. Really great image. And of course, we've got to have our tagline for our McGruff character.
Put a leash on crime.
Yes. Instead of the bite mark, I put the little leash on the end there. It's fun. That's part of the fun of the book, though. I really love designing my own version, but also trying to pay homage to the original and make it stand on its own. So that's like a nice character that you like, and hopefully, if I do my job well, you like it better than the original. So that's my goal with this stuff.
And there's the Joe St. Pierre.
Joe St. Pierre, yeah.
Artwork for the patch.
Yeah, I love his take on the characters too. you know. Joe's such a great dude, though. I love Joe. I've known Joe since like 2012, I think. I met him at some convention that's not even around anymore. We happened to just be next to each other at the table, and we instantly hit it off, you know. And it's great to see him every year, and I see him probably at about 5 or 6 shows a year, and it's been awesome. We even hung out a couple times outside of the convention too. Like we went to when the Rockwell Museum was doing a Hanna-Barbera exhibit. We both went down there because we were both interested in that, and that was cool. It was cool to see all the history of Hanna-Barbera on display, you know. But yeah, Joe's a great guy, and
I saw him at Troy, and I talked to him a little bit back in 2019 at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh, nice. Did you pick up his new Zodiacs book? His creator-owned comic.
Yeah, I didn't pick it up because the guy that was shilling it to me across the way from where Joe eventually ended up setting up, was trying to shill me this new variant is making its first appearance here. And
it costs like $30, right?
Yeah, it's like $20 for a black and white comic, and I'm like,
yeah, no, that's not cool.
And I was like, and then because Joe was supposed to be next to them, and he went across the way, and then they like spread out more stuff, and when I made my second trip through, they would just, Zenoscope this and Zenoscope that. And I go,
oh, God.
I'm too old for that cheesecake crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks nice. And if it's on the cover of the book for a covered price, not an inflated cover price, I'll buy it if it's the cheapest copy. But,
right.
I've interviewed like Zenoscope before and written articles on stuff they would do. And it's pretty cool, and I got some friends that collect their stuff. But
right. I like his new Zodiac stuff. It feels like an old school like superhero book, which I like. And like the premise is like that it's superheroes based on like the Zodiac signs. It's it feels like something that's fresh. I recommend it if you can find it cheap. I know he's selling it. It's like in some stores now too. So you might be able to get it cheaper just at a comic store now. But I recommend it, especially if you like old school superhero books, Yeah,
I'll take the regular cover from the comic.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, same with Joe. Like he just did another, he just did a recent Kickstarter, and I said to him, I was like, "Well, is this new stuff?" And he's like, "No, I'm just trying to reprint the old stuff and then eventually do some new stuff." And I'm like, "Well, sorry, Joe, but I already have this, so I'm not going to be backing that. I don't care how many variant covers you have. So
I'm just pushing all the stuff in the warehouse, trying to get rid of it."
Right. Yeah.
No.
Well, I think you also wanted to have like new copies so that he could, you want to have the old stuff so you can build the new stuff, so as you get new readers, they want to jump in at the beginning. So it's like, I get it why he has to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I already have it, so I'm not going to buy it, And he understands,
Unless you like fall in love with the cover for a trade.
Right.
When you have all the issues. It's like, if it's a hardcover.
Yeah,
I'll think about it because I can put it. Once I buy more bookshelves, I can put it on a bookshelf.
Right, exactly. That's the other thing, finding room for stuff nowadays,
Yeah. I'm just like,
Right.
I spent a good amount of my comic book collecting years when I was working good jobs. I was a nightclub DJ for like 30 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So until my daughter came along, I pretty much had nothing to spend my money on but comics and alcohol. So
two vices, right? Which one was the worst vice, alcohol or comics? That's debatable, right?
When I start looking through some of the stuff that I'm trying to get rid of now,
yeah,
I'm just like, I need to quit buying comics while I'm drunk. Like,
right? Yeah, it's like what was I thinking?
You know, you sit at home, you have a couple of cocktails. Next thing you know, you're on a whatnot auction, and you just lost your second mortgage.
Right. Yeah. Oh my
I'm
god.
like, no.
It's so true. Like comics are like. I think the game now is you got to get those. You got to like pay attention to what Marvel, MCU is doing, and then buy whatever appearance that's going to be mentioned as the thing now.
The speculator market.
Yeah, that's what it's all about now, from what I can tell.
But
I never was into that anyways. I always bought what I liked, you know. I
was reading this, and then I saw, oh, that's her first appearance in Daredevil.
Oh, is that the Elektra as Daredevil now?
No, this is actually the mute girl that they used in the Hawkeye series. I can't remember. I can never remember her name.
Echo, isn't it?
That's the one. Yeah, it's the first appearance of Echo.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
that's probably big bucks now.
It's like $175 last time I checked.
Yeah, see.
And
I think I had that issue too.
There's some good old stuff. First Silver Age appearance of Catwoman and Lois Lane.
Yeah, I like that. That's great.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll sell the Daredevil, but I'm gonna keep my Lois Lane.
Yeah. I should check to see if I have that. I used to have that Daredevil issue. I know I had. Yeah, I'll check. I think I don't know if I have it. I got rid of a lot of stuff after I left the comic book store in like 2000. Just to, you know, and then I built up. I tend to like collect everything, but I'm more of a reader now. Like I'll buy like a whole series, and then if I don't like it after it's over, I'll get rid of it. You know.
You'd be like, here, take this off my hands.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, not into it anymore as like I used to be.
And we have the pin.
Yes, the pin. That's going to be with the featured, you know, and then you can buy it in an add-on if you want at the end as well. I've tried to make everything like an add-on too, so that, you know, if you just wanted to pick and choose the little things that you wanted, you know, you can do it.
Yeah, you gotta have your featured tier, and then you gotta have a couple out of left field tiers along with everything else. But
right,
you want to make everything because there's no pleasing everybody.
No, there's no way to do it. That's why if you make it more like an online store and shopping, it's easier for people. So that's kind of what I did, you know. It's like I like doing crowdfunding, but they are, oh my God, they are stressful, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's like, like the first 30 days, it was like I think the final week I finally hit the goal, but up till then I was just like sweating it a little bit. It was just like, my God, I hate doing these things, you know. It's like my fifth one, and it's just like, I don't know. It's stress. It's self-imposed stress, you know.
So I have to ask.
Yeah.
Is there any cereal in this cereal box?
I get asked that a lot. I haven't done it just because I know like you're dealing with expiration dates, and I kind of don't want to deal with it if somebody gets sick, or something like that, just in case. You don't want
to deal with it like Warner Brothers did with the Michael Keaton Batman cereal.
Pretty much. I don't remember that. What was the story behind that? Did people get sick?
No, it was basically Captain Crunch, because I haven't cut the roof of my mouth this week.
Right. And they also like used to make Captain Crunch into everything. I think it was like Donkey Kong cereal as well.
Yeah, they just put it in a mold, and it was like, the bat symbol. Right. But they all came with these goofy little plastic Michael Keaton sticker face bags.
Oh, cool. All right. They don't do any cool like
they don't do any cool cereal. No, they got rid of. Oh, we're not going to give you any prizes anymore. I go, well, then I'm not going to buy you cereal anymore.
Right.
But I think it's cool. You get the little cutout mask on the back of the captain, and
Yeah. Well, I kind of branded it more as like a collector case, where you can put your comics in. You can feature like the, put all your Mighty Mascots in there, I guess, if you will, or something like that.
it makes a cool shelf display for them.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few YouTube shows that have it on in their background, which is really cool. I love seeing that. But yeah, it's like one of those things. I've had it for a little while. Like, if you can see on the front, like Frankie did the artwork for it, so he was still the series artist when I created that box. And I gave it away as part of the campaign in the last one too. And this one I just did it as like an add-on, just because I thought anyone that got it the last time is probably not interested in it as a part of a tier again, So I just did it as like an add-on. I thought that would be better for people,
Yeah. Now, tell me where the soda came from.
Now the soda came from. It's actually a soda company in Connecticut that's been in business since like I want to say since the 1930s. Wow. I was in
older than us put together.
Yeah. I was
Almost.
in Shelburne Falls, and there was like they have like an old school candy store there, like where you can just buy old candy, like candy cigarettes and things like that. And in their drink display, they had these sodas by this company called Avery's, and I bought it. I always, much like cereal, I like trying new sodas as well. So I had a couple of them, and it was really good. It's made with like sugar, so it's not made with like the corn syrup crap that they put in sodas now. And it was really good. And so I was like, I'll just for the hell of it, let me go to their website and see what other flavors they had, because they had their website listed there. And when I got on their website, they have like a thing where you can print custom labels, and I was like, oh, that would be cool. And I thought, I got a drink mascot on the team, so why not do like a custom label as like part of, Brewster McPunch's drink line, So that's what I did. I made a Mighty Mascots Brewster McPunch soda label, and then every so often I'll just go down to Connecticut, probably at least once a year, and I'll buy a couple cases, and I'll sell them at shows, and people that have drank it love it, because it's the real deal. It's like sugar, so I've had kids come back to me multiple times at shows and just buy a new bottle to drink, and some people
I need more.
Yeah, pretty much. And some people will buy it as a collector's item and never open it, so that's cool too,
Be careful, the sugar will eat its way through the glass.
Yeah, I tell them you should just drink it. It's great, and they just, no, I'm buying this to collect it, and so it's kind of fun. Do you know Don Chin?
Yeah.
Don Chin. Yeah, he had me send him a bottle, and it was just like, I was so worried it was gonna, because I had to mail it to California, and I was so worried it was gonna, get smashed in the box and arrive to him as like this chunk of glass, with soda everywhere inside, but it showed up okay. So
nice.
I think he puts it in the background of his show as well, which is kind of cool, There's there's the pirate patch. We're very close to unlocking that for everybody.
And you have a parrot.
Yeah. You can probably hear her in the background sometimes when I'm talking. She's really loud. She's a good bird, though. She's loud, but she's lovable. Yeah, I thought that would be kind of a fun thing, So it's got a pirate on the team, and that's a list of all the add-ons that you can get.
Okay, I've got the first 6.
Yeah. And so 7, 8, and 9. Do you go to a lot of shows? Do you go to a lot of conventions?
Not really. I started going back out now because my girlfriend makes me, and I'm like,
Okay.
well, if we're gonna go anywhere, we're gonna go to a comic book show.
Oh, okay. I was
I
gonna say,
went
like,
to,
I'll probably have 7, 8, and 9, probably next year when con season starts again.
mm,
I'm hoping to have them by early spring, and that way I can have them for next year's convention season.
oh,
So I was gonna
nice.
say, if you want to wait and buy them from me directly, you can.
Oh, that's more fun for me.
Right? Yeah. And I'll sign them on the spot.
So, speaking of conventions, what other shows do you have going on for the rest of this year?
The rest of this year, okay. Let me see. I got a bunch of one-dayers coming up, which is my favorite kind of shows. I think next week I'm doing a street festival in Worcester called Start on the Street. That's on a Sunday. And that's going to be interesting. It's not really comics, but it's like a street festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why not try it? Sometimes we do great at those. So I'm going to try that one. And in October, I have a library show with Tim Jones and Athol, I think. Do you know the creators behind Hero Shack? Chris and Diana, do you know them?
Not yet.
They have like a YouTube channel too. They're really nice people. They're putting it on at Athol Library. They invited me, Tim, a bunch of other people to come down.
Oh yeah, I saw Tim's post on that. So.
Yeah, so that's one I'll be at as well. I'm going to be at BingCon in Springfield. That's another one-day show that's great. I just got a spot for the Western Mass comic show. That's in Greenfield, I think, or Springfield. No, Greenfield, not Springfield. It's in Greenfield. So that's like true Western Mass. And then I booked a couple for December. I don't think I have anything in November. December, I have a show. What the heck were the shows? Something in Connecticut. I don't remember the name. And then the other one was another one in Connecticut, I think. So 2 in Connecticut. They were like VFW kind of shows, kind of like the Troy Comic-Con thing.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite, though. I love those shows because they're cheap, usually table-wise, for us creators. And it's usually cheap for the fans to come in. So it's a win-win for everybody, I think.
Yeah, it's like you make it cheap and you'll have more traffic coming through.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
if it's only like $3 and they're used to spending like $75 to get into Rhode Island Comic-Con.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love that these are usually these shows end up being mostly comics, which is nice.
Yeah,
I love that about it. So comics and artists. So those are my favorite. I avoid like the Rhode Island stuff. I don't like those shows. I do horrible at Rhode Island. I used to do New York Comic-Con, but we pulled out this year because the last couple of years have been kind of garbage for us, and the tables are really expensive.
Yeah,
but
they just keep raising their rates on all.
Keep raising it, and then this year they're still got their mask mandate in, and I'm so over masks right now, So
sorry, New York is trash.
Yeah, it kind of is, It's a cluster F, if you don't mind me saying, getting in and out of there every time. So I was like, you know what? I don't need the headaches this year. I'm just going to skip it. I'd rather do like 3 one-day shows instead of 1 4-day show there,
Yeah. I mean, I covered Rhode Island Comic-Con back in 2019 for Outright Geekery and was so thrilled that I did. I got to meet the guys from Token with the Dead.
Oh, those guys are great. I love was it Ben and Jeff.
Yeah.
Ben and Jeff.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I get to meet and hang out with them.
Those guys are awesome.
For a while. They spotted me. My dead giveaway. I'd be a terrible Riddler. My dead giveaway is I'm going to be the fat guy in the wheelchair.
Okay.
He goes, we've seen some other big people in wheelchairs, but you are by far the biggest. I go, oh, thank you.
I interviewed those guys on my channel like a couple of years ago, and I got them to talk about the. There's actually a clip of it on my channel if you're interested. I got them to talk about their battle with AMC over The Walking Dead, and my God, those guys went through hell over that crap.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. But it was cool to like find, because they used to be like very hush hush about it. And I get it, because they were in the middle of being sued by, Walking Dead and all that.
Yeah.
But now it was like, it was all over with and they were able to talk about it. And so I got this a good 20-minute clip on my channel if anybody out there is interested in just to hear about, like, even if you're a creator, how to protect yourself, because they did a couple things and that protected them from being really killed by AMC's lawyers,
Yeah.
So yeah, but those guys are funny as heck,
Kirkman Schmirkman.
Right? Yeah, I know.
I've had them on a few times. I get to meet them there for the first time, and I count myself lucky and wish I had bought an autograph while I was there. But I get to carry on a conversation for almost an hour with Neil Adams.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's one of those guys that was always around at shows up here. And I talked to him a couple times, but I used to always just kind of, not ignore him, but like take for granted that he was always at shows. So like you never, I never really got anything signed, and now I kind of wish I did,
Yeah, well, I was talking about his favorite subject with him, which of course is himself. And but I was looking around in the prints, and I was like, yeah, I've got this book. It beat to hell. I used to roll it up in my back pocket, and our friends would go riding, and we'd swap books, up on the dunes, and
oh yeah,
be like,
good old
well,
days.
we've each got $1 to spend on comic books. We each bought like 4 books that week, and we got to read like 24. So
that's great. Yeah, those are the good old days when you used to swap stuff, and it was great, man. I miss that.
Well,
I want to go back and live in like 1983.
Oh, if only.
Right.
I'd be like another 300 pounds later.
Me too.
I'd be 100 something right now and be like, oh.
Right.
Well, I mean, I had a great time at that show because I got to hang out and talk to Neil. I got to meet a couple of toy dealers. I got to meet Dr. Migo. I got to meet Marty Abrams.
Oh, nice.
And Marty didn't know that Neil was at that show.
Okay.
And I go, yeah, I just came up from talking to Neil Adams. He goes, Neil's here? He's like, where? I go, straight down this aisle, the last big giant corner spot. He's right there.
Okay.
He ran down 50 years ago, because it's the 50th anniversary now. 50 years ago, Neil Adams drew all the box art.
Oh, wow. Okay.
From Migo's World's Greatest Superheroes.
Oh, okay.
And there was an old black and white picture when they wrote up in all the trades about it with Neil and Marty with their, just the guy hug.
Yeah.
They went down and recreated the photo like about 45 years after it happened. And so I thought that was cool. I got to meet Graham Nolan and Bill McKay.
Like Graham.
A bunch of other people.
Dude. Graham actually knows who I am now, which is like crazy to me. Like, thank you, whoever that is.
Yeah, thank you, Facebook user.
Yeah, I met you at kids. Oh, okay, that's great. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the comments.
Awesome.
It's great.
But, I mean, I have a great job. I have a great time going there.
Yeah.
But only if I get press passes. I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money to go.
That's kind of where I'm at with conventions. Like, I love, like, when I'm there, I love it. Sometimes some mornings when I'm getting up to do a show and I'm like, I don't want to go do this. But like, I would, like I would never just go to a show. I think nowadays as a fan, I would have to be there as a guest or, have a table. And it sounds kind of elitist of me, I guess, but like I just don't like pay. I don't want to pay like the admission fee anymore.
I don't want to pay money to go hang out with people that do what I do.
Pretty much. Like I just unless it was a free
I could
admission,
be home. I could be home lettering my new issue of Mighty Mascots.
There you go. That was another decision behind New York too. It's like I don't want to give up. The show is 4 days, but you got to add like 5 and 6 days because of the travel and like the recovery time after you do a show like that. You're dead for a day. And it's like, I would rather get more work done on my book, the honest truth. And plus you're going to pay
got work to do. And you got to stay at the hotel and all.
Right. And the expense, after you add up all the expenses, it's like around $2,000 to do New York. And that's if you get like just an inline, small press table, and what was I going to say? And then the hotels, if you stay in New Jersey, where it's like under $100 a night, if you stay in New York, excuse me, forget it. You're gonna spend over, $2,000, because it's like $300 a night there at least, and that's like on the cheap side. And then, I mean, to make back $2,000 and then make a profit on that is tough, We used to do it though, because my wife Amy would, sell these like huge high-end art pieces at New York, and people would buy it. So she'd sell like 2 or 3 of those, and we were already in a good spot, financially for that show. Because my $2 comics ain't gonna do it, So, but yeah, I mean, I like doing New York, but I think I need a couple of years off from it at this point,
Yeah, wait to see if Sanity ever comes back to New York and.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Like, the mask thing, whatever. I've done shows where I've had to wear a mask, but, at this point, a year later, and I just don't. The mask thing is just a turn off, big time.
Yeah, and then if you want to go out to eat after you finish the show,
it's like, why are we vaccinated then?
Yeah, like you got somebody at the door. Papers, please.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. So. Yeah, I'm all set with New York at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but that's why it's great. There's plenty of other shows you can do, plenty of one-dayers, You can literally throw a rock and find a show every weekend if you tried,
Or you could just follow Tim Jones around because he finds one every weekend.
Yeah. I go to his page sometimes to see what he's up to, and see if there's something I can jump on, But whatever,
So I want to pop off of this and go take a look at this really quick.
Okay.
So everybody can see. That's that one. Where were we? We were somewhere. Where'd it go? Oh, I hate getting lost. There it is. Ta-da! Whoops, that didn't work. Ta-da!
Nice. Yeah, my website. I think I try to keep it up to date. I definitely need a little more of a I think I definitely need somebody to come in and kind of redesign it a little bit for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so when the campaign's not live, this is a good place to get issues from. It's also a good place to see some of my older stuff too, and also, if you don't get the issues here, you can get them from Alterna's website too. And Alterna does like their seasonal campaigns now too. So, so there's no shortage of Keith books around, basically.
You're like Agua Fair. You're everywhere.
Exactly. I try to be. So that's why I do a lot of shows too, because I try to have a presence both online and offline, you know. So if one is doing better than the other, they can kind of carry each other, you know. So nice little homage cover there by Chris Giarrusso of that famous Fantastic Four
cover. Yeah.
48, I think. Was it number 48? Yeah.
So
I love Chris Giarrusso. He's a great guy too.
Now, is your older stuff still available to purchase?
Well, I think the Hero Envy, the single issues, I don't really have anymore. It's just the trade paperback at this point. I do still have some issues of Swamp Tales available, along with my. I have the first issue of a series called Kid Switch that I did, that I'd love to go back to at some point and finish that, because that was supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries. But Mighty Mascots kind of happened after I did first issue of that, so I kind of put everything else on hold. There it is right there, Kid Switch. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I kind of started, like Reckless Chronicles too, which was an anthology book featuring like 3 different stories. So I had to put that on hold as well, because Mighty Mascots just took over everything, took over all my time basically. And it's still that way since 2015, you know, so. But yeah, you can get all my older stuff here for the most part. And those are the original covers of the Hero Envy books.
Nice.
And that was a fun book to work on. There's also, if you go to the tabs there's a Hero Envy tab. And I think I put links up to the old show. It's very un-PC by today's standards. So I probably could get canceled for it if people watch it now. But it was basically a Big Bang Theory before it was like Big Bang Theory. Funnier too, actually. And R-rated, not safe for work.
Oh, I have a tab for that.
Yeah, there you go. Throw that up. There you go. But yeah, no, it was. I have a little bit of a history there with comics and stuff, but a lot of it, even though I sell Kid Switch, I kind of don't recommend it to people until I go back and finish that miniseries. I want to at some point. It was just kind of a fun book, very much like something like Ben 10 or something like that, you know.
That's what it reminded me of when I saw it. So
it's like a kid that finds a glove that can do all this crazy stuff, and the villain that has the other glove, almost. But
only with the right Nintendo system.
What's that?
Only with the right Nintendo system, though.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. It almost looks like the Power Glove from the 8-bit days, you know.
Glory days.
Yeah. Honestly, if I could live permanently in 1983 to about maybe 87, that would be my sweet spot. I would love that.
As long as I wasn't stuck back in high school.
Right. Yeah. If we can go back at this age, you know, that'd be great. Or even like my 22, maybe, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, because we'd be getting, you know, books that everybody was sought after off a spinner rack for like, you know, 75 cents.
Like Biff Tannen and Back to the Future 2, like handing back older stuff to your older counterpart, you know. That's what I'd be doing.
Because this day job stuff is for the birds.
Oh my God, I wouldn't have to do Kickstarter. I wouldn't have to do Indiegogo anymore. It'd be great.
I could just make my books and pay for them myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you want to buy them, here's my website.
Right, exactly. Self-funding, you know.
So I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was great. It was a lot of fun.
And everybody get out and back the Mighty Mascots.
Awesome.
And we will catch you all later on.
Thank you, everybody.
On another episode of whatever this show's called, Creators Outlet. That's it. This one.
There you go.
It's been 2 weeks since I did a new show, so I'm like, what am I doing? I'm starting to get hungry now. I forgot to take I forgot to take my meds at dinner. I'm like, oh.
Right.
So, Keith, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having
everybody, me. Please follow Keith. There's information in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us, which will give you a link on top of the chat to the campaign and a couple other cool things in there. So please take care, everybody. And thank you, Facebook user.
That's awesome.
And we'll catch everybody on the flip side. Speaking of flipping, I'm going to go flip my way back into issue 3 of Mighty Mascots.
Nice. Got to see how it finishes out.